Ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing? My name is Drifty Dread, and welcome to a special interview. I have a special guest. You can find her. She's an avid TikToker and Instagrammer. You can find her there at Raefabe. You can also find her on YouTube, and you can find her on Twitch as well. But she's been primarily on TikTok and YouTube. How or Instagram? How are you doing, Ray?
I'm good. How are you
I'm
doing?
doing
Hi,
okay.
everybody.
I'm doing all right. So Ray, when I have interviewed some people in the past, and I've felt very nervous, right? But I don't want to make that impression. I felt like I've gotten a lot more comfortable with things. So I like to make a good first and a good last impression. So with my with the good first impression, I wanna ask because I'm curious. Um, Obviously you're a wrestling fan. That's kind of why we set this up because you love wrestling. Is wrestling a passion of yours? Would you say it is?
Mhm.
Yeah. Um,
It is.
so when it comes to wrestling, when did you first start getting into wrestling? Like when was the like did you see it from like your parents? Did you see it from a friend? Like how did you get into wrestling?
So it's it's interesting. I'm newer to wrestling. I would say so in 2014, maybe 2013 around there for a short amount of time. I think we were watching it. So my fiance, we've been together for 13 years now, so quite some time. He got me into it basically. He was watching it since he was a kid, and we started watching it together around 2013, 2014. We kind of took a really big break for a while, like just not watching it anymore. And I would say about 2 years ago, was it WrestleMania 39, I think. I don't know. We picked a WrestleMania. We decided to watch it with a bunch of people, and we've basically been watching like consistently since then. So it's been about like 2 years since I got back into it.
Okay. So I feel like we're kind of around the same story. I started watching wrestling around when I don't know how far your wrestling knowledge goes back now since like you're kind of into it, but I started watching wrestling when NXT used to be a game show when they used to have contestants and they used to do a bunch of crazy things. But yeah, I started watching wrestling about 2009 to 2010. And then I watched consistently up until about like 2017. And then after that, I took a little bit of a break, and then I think I've been watching pretty consistently, um, probably since like 2021, whenever like Roman Reigns came back from, and the Tribal Chief era started. So that's interesting. That's really cool. I do want to ask, do you have a wrestling hot take? Like, obviously, starting watching wrestling around, you know, the 2013 to 2014 range, and with me starting, kind of around that same time, I feel like people that started watching wrestling newer have a lot more hot takes than fans that have started watching wrestling, like years ago. You know,
Mm.
do you have a wrestling hot take?
I can't think of anything like super specific, but there's one thing like in general, I feel like people that watched when they were younger and they basically have been watching since they were like a kid, um, there's a lot of attachment to certain like characters and like people. And I feel like although I do have that with some of the wrestlers, I am a little more like, okay, I can kind of look at things and be like, okay, like Hogan, for example, if whenever I make videos kind of talking about him and about like, you know, like the ranking videos where I'm like every act to him and I'm like, people are like, oh, I don't know how you could do that. Like, you need to recognize like what he did for the company. And I feel like I'm a little like more detached to that where I can be like, you know what, I don't like this person as a person. And it's not like I don't know how to explain it. I don't
Ray,
know.
I want to tell you, I totally understand what you're talking. I totally get what you mean. Like, look, I think Hulk Hogan as a person is a shit person. I don't think Hulk Hogan is a good person at all. However, I can understand what he did for the business. Same with another wrestler. They call him the Voldemort of WWE, Chris Benoit. You know, he's awful. Like, awful person. What he did was awful. However, he was great in the ring. I mean, he was fantastic. So like I get it. I trust me. I understand. Um yeah, like it's funny because there's a lot of wrestlers that you would never to think you wouldn't like in person. However, like when it comes to being in the ring, they were good in ring. Like for example, do you remember Enzo and Cass?
Mhm.
So Enzo and Cass, they were so over. Like their time in WWE, they were so over, and they were really popular with the crowd. But Enzo was just kind of a shit person. So, that's fun. So I have a wrestling hot take, and I'll tell you. Do you have a favorite WrestleMania?
No.
No,
Try to think. I think honestly, no. Okay, so I do. I would say, well, okay. I I'm not like it's not going to be an old one, it's going to be a newer one since, I started watching again recently. Um but I would say I believe it was WrestleMania 39. That's what got me back into wrestling, so that's going to be kind of my favorite, at least for right now, just because that's what got me back into it.
so correct.
And it was very like unexpected because we just decided to watch it. Like we hadn't watched wrestling in forever. And we're like, you know what, let's just see what's going on. And literally, I don't think we've stopped watching since then. So, and yeah.
So WrestleMania 39, if I'm not wrong, Cody came back at WrestleMania 38, and then 39 he was facing Roman, lost, and then he beat him at 40. Okay, WrestleMania
Mhm.
39, I think Cody should have won at WrestleMania 39.
Mhm.
But I thought they told a really beautiful story with WrestleMania 40, so I think is I think that's a good answer. See, my favorite WrestleMania is my Wrestle. Well, it's not my favorite. It's like in a top five, and it's a lot of people's worst WrestleMania. Uh,
Mhm.
WrestleMania 27.
Okay.
So many people hate. I don't know if you have ever had the opportunity to watch WrestleMania 27.
I don't think I have, but can you give me like a refresher of like what happened and why
Sure,
people don't like it?
sure. If people know, they will dog on me and probably or you. They will probably say, "Thank
Okay.
God you did not watch it." So WrestleMania 29 or 29, WrestleMania 27 was it was a lackluster of a WrestleMania. That is when um you had Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler with
Okay.
Stone Cold as a special guest referee. You had
Okay.
um you had like a tag match. It was, oh man, I couldn't even tell you what the tag match is. It was like Dolph Ziggler and I really hope it was like Dolph Ziggler and somebody else versus I think it was John Morrison and Snooki from the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
Um, you
I feel like I need to watch this
you
now.
had
Like,
you had one of the greatest WrestleMania matches I've ever seen. It was Triple H versus The Undertaker before the WrestleMania 28 match. It was one of the greatest WrestleMania matches I've ever seen. And then you had um The Miz versus John Cena in the main event, and that's when the it ended in a count out. The Rock came back, and then it was basically a hype match for their WrestleMania 28 match. But The Rock came out at the end, Rock bottom John Cena, and the Miz retained.
okay.
So it's marked as one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. However, I started watching wrestling kind of in that era.
Mhm.
So I was a huge Miz fan, so like he won, so I was happy. Which
Yeah.
that doesn't sit right with people. So if you ever want to go watch a WrestleMania that everybody hates, and maybe that 1% that everybody does enjoy it, which is me. I would go watch it.
Okay.
So let's talk about let's
I
talk.
will. Okay. How old were you, if you don't mind me asking, when that WrestleMania happened?
So I
Can
was. I think it happened in 20. WrestleMania 27 happened in 2011. So I
mm,
was not. I was 9 years old.
okay. Yeah, see, it's like when you're younger, like things just seem more
Right.
like magical. I guess that would be the best way to put it. Like those the Batman movies from like the 90s, the ones that everyone hates with like I think Danny DeVito was in them. I don't remember, but they're like the really like it's the ones that people like do not like, and I remember loving them as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I haven't watched them in forever, but I remember like saying like, oh yeah, I love that, and then people look at me like that's like the worst Batman movies ever. And I'm like,
That that
okay, sorry.
that's funny. That's what I say. Like, have you ever seen the Karate Kid?
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You probably should have said that. So
Uh-oh.
the Karate Kid came out. Obviously Karate Kid's like a 80s 90s movies. Well, they came out with the
Mm,
Karate Kid in like 2010, and I was
mm,
8, and I thought it was fantastic. And then they were like, well, if you've seen the original, you're gonna think this one is bad. So like I get what you're saying. So let's talk about
mm.
some recent stuff. I feel like
Okay.
I'm trying to stir away and asking you questions that you're not super knowledgeable with. So let's talk about the Rumble. Let's talk about Jey Uso winning the
Okay.
Royal Rumble. How do you feel about that?
I love it. Because I was not expecting it at all. Like I honestly, like I made a prediction of who I thought was going to be in the final four, and I don't even think I had Jey Uso in the final four.
I don't
Like
think.
I think I was thinking he would be in maybe like fifth or sixth left or something, but I was not thinking that was going to happen. I honestly like I thought it was very likely that Cena was going to win, and yeah, when I love it, honestly. Like I don't understand how people can be upset about it. I see a lot of people saying that like, he like just upset that he won, and I like you watch Monday Night Raw, right? Like
Right.
you see the way the crowd reacts to him. He was the best choice in my opinion. Like it makes sense that he won.
Yeah, so
Like
I didn't have Jey Uso winning, to be honest. It wasn't on my bingo
yeah.
card. I had Punk. That was my prediction.
That
Um,
was one actually I was leaning towards too, is I kind of wanted Punk to win. I think for the last four, I think I was thinking like Punk. Oh, I don't remember what I had. I think it was like Punk, Roman Reigns, Rollins, and Cena or
you
something.
were close. You were close. Uh, so I had Charlotte Flair winning, which that
Yeah.
doesn't surprise anybody. Um, yeah, Jey Uso winning was not on my bingo card. Now we have the Elimination Chamber, and there are some pretty stacked names. We have Cena, Punk. I think we have Logan Paul, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and then we have Seth versus Finn. I think Seth is going to win to qualify. So it's a pretty stacked elimination chamber. Are you excited for it?
I'm excited. We usually do like some like a small party for like all the PLEs too, so we'll have people come over and watch them. I The one thing that is annoying to me, and I know a lot of other people feel this one, I know that a lot of people would disagree. I'm tired of Logan Paul. Like, I knew he was gonna win, and yes, he is talented. Like, fine, I'll say that. Like, cool. But just even just watching the match with him and Ray, I was just like I knew he was gonna win the
Right.
whole entire time, and I still like I don't know. I wish he was like actually retiring. I'll be completely honest.
So
He said that he was gonna retire, and then he came back, and I'm like, no, why are you here?
so I feel like we're a little bit at a crossroads here. So
Uh-oh.
First of all, I understand why everybody doesn't like Logan Paul. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
However, there's a difference between WWE giving it to like celebrities and then for I'm gonna say it, and I know people are gonna get pissed. I think Logan Paul is a WWE superstar. Listen, I know he's social media. I get people don't like him, right? But I feel like with him being hated and him having absolutely phenomenal moves and just being a great competitor, I don't think he'll be world champion. However, I do like I don't really like Logan as a person, back to our earlier conversation, but I think he's fantastic in the ring. Speaking of Logan Paul, I wanted to ask, because I'll get back to it later, have you been to a live event? Have you ever been to a pay-per-view? Have you been to shows?
I've been to, I believe, 3 Raws and 2 SmackDowns, I think. I haven't been to like a PLE or anything. That really I I don't know. So I live in the Bay Area and I feel like we don't get shows a whole lot. Like generally speaking, I think we it kind of falls where we get maybe one Raw and like I don't know, like the first part of the year and then like a SmackDown or something. And that's usually it. And I don't even know the last time there was I know Mania was here. I can't remember. I think it was when I wasn't watching at the time, but it was like somewhat recently, I want to say, within like the last 10 years or something. But other than that, like I feel like we don't get a whole lot of shows here.
Don't don't come at me when you say the Bay Area. You mean California?
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
like San Francisco, Bay Area, Oakland.
okay. Um, well, WrestleMania 41 isn't that far. It's in Vegas. You can go. No, their ticket.
I I want to go so badly, and I had myself convinced that I was gonna go. Like before the tickets came out, I was like, it is an hour flight. I'm going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then tickets
I
came
guess I
out.
didn't think about that one.
Yeah, yeah, and then tickets came out, and you're like, mm.
Yeah, and now like they're releasing all of this other stuff that's like happening around like that weekend too, where like what isn't like SmackDown there and Raw is there like before and after. I could be wrong, but there's like a few other events like happening around it, and I'm like, you could stay there for like maybe like a week or so and go to like every single thing. That would
Yeah,
be so cool. But I wouldn't even like I don't even want to know how much the SmackDown or Raw tickets would be just because they're in
yeah,
Vegas alone. Like when they come here, the last couple times at least, I feel like tickets just in general have gotten a lot more expensive than they were even like the first Raw that I went to, which was a couple years ago.
yeah. I,
So,
that that's yeah. I totally agree. So I have been to a couple pay-per-views. I've been to I know I've been to pay-per-views you have seen. I don't know if you remember a lot of these, but if you started watching WrestleMania at WrestleMania 39, I don't know if you got to see him. I was at Extreme Rules in Columbus when Finn Balor was facing Roman Reigns in the main event, and that's when Finn Balor like went on the top rope and the ropes broke and he lost.
mm,
I was at a No Mercy, which is an awkward pay per view to ever go to, but I think John Cena, AJ Styles, and Dean Ambrose was on that card.
okay.
Um, I gone to Money in the Bank where Sheamus won. Oh, Columbus was pissed. Uh, for my 21st birthday, and I'll never forget it. It was the greatest probably birthday gift ever. So my fiance is I guess would be kind of like you in a sense. I started getting her into wrestling, and she kind of says what every like new person says into wrestling, which on TV it's not the same as real life. So we went to Chicago. We went to Survivor Series, uh, and we were standing in line, and I told her I played a song, and I said, "Look, if CM Punk's music hits, it's not gonna happen. There's no way this will happen." But I said, if CM Punk's music hits, no matter scream, just get up and scream. And the show was about to end when his music hit, blew the damn roof off the arena.
Yeah.
Um,
That had to be amazing
and then
to see.
I went to SummerSlam last year in Cleveland, so
Okay.
that was fun. So let's let's talk about another thing. I'm curious right now for WrestleMania. We have a couple matches already announced. We have Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. We
Mm-hmm.
have Jey Uso versus Gunther. Do you have like a WrestleMania dream match? Like if this happens, I'm gonna cry. Do you know? Like, do you have that dream match?
Try well, one that I really wanted to happen this year was I really wanted Io and Rhea. And I love both of them. I'm always gonna be a Rhea Ripley girl because honestly, like she got me back into wrestling. Like I
Yeah.
am not gonna lie, the 1000% it's her, right? But I know I'm pretty sure like they've both said before that they wanted to go against each other at Mania, and I would love to see that. Obviously I'd want Rhea to win, but I would be happy either way. I know people are probably gonna be shocked that I said that, but honestly, I would like if Rhea had to lose to anybody right now, it Io. Like I would be okay with that. But their match would just be
Oh yeah.
insane.
It would.
And I know a lot of people think that it might end up being like a triple threat with Liv. I don't want that. I
Okay.
do not want that.
Do we have a Liv Morgan hater? Do you not like
Yeah,
Liv Morgan?
absolutely. I am absolutely. Everybody knows that. Like, yes, I am. I'm.
Okay. What about Dom? What do you feel
But I
about
mean,
Dom?
okay, like she's talented. I'm not saying that she's not. And I think a lot of times, like, especially with the internet, when you say something like you don't like this character, this person, like, people think that you like just don't like them whatsoever and you can't like look at them and be like they're talented in this like she's talented, she's great, like I just the character is not for me. The
Yeah.
current character is not for me, but she is a heel and she does a great job at it,
Yeah.
Like I roll my eyes when she talks, like like
Yeah.
she's doing a good job. And I'm not saying that she's not, but when people hear like you don't like her, like or just other people in general, they're like, well, they can't understand that like you can differentiate like she is talented. I'm not saying that she's not, just the current character, no thank you.
Okay. So we've established that you don't like Liv.
Yeah.
What about Dom? Are you like a I love Dom? Or are you a mm?
Oh no, I'm a Dom hater. I've been a Dom hater.
Wow. Wow.
No, no, I'm a Dom hater too. I was like, when he like betrayed Rhea, obviously that whole thing was like heartbreaking, right? But in the back of my head, I was like, finally, no more Dominic Mysterio and Rhea. Like, I was one of those few people that was like, finally,
I
cool, we
I
can move on now. But again, Dom's like the same thing. Like, he is a fantastic heel.
oh yeah.
Like, I can, I can admit that. But, you know, do does the Judgment Day and like all of them, I guess, like I get annoyed when I see them on TV, but like that's what I'm supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So if Renee sees this video and she sees that you talk smack, oh, she's gonna come for you if she sees you talking smack about Dom. She's the biggest Dom
uh-oh,
lover.
really?
Yeah, she loves Dom. So
A lot of people do though, and that's totally fine,
hey,
like
I agree.
I
Judgment Day needs to
just
go. The Judgment Day needs to go. I look.
I
Finn Balor, I feel like is such a Look, I would understand if they could take Judgment Day and they kind of do what they did. Like, if, first of all, I want JD to come back healthy. The spot he took was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Um,
that was scary. I don't even know how he like went through the rest of the match.
yeah,
Like that was unbelievable.
yeah. If like if they come back, the only way that I could see them reviving the Judgment Day is this would have to be after Mania, and it would be like if JD and Dom win the tag titles, if Liv and Raquel won the women's tag team championships, Finn Balor won the world championship, and like Carlito won like the United States or like the Intercontinental. Like if they won all gold,
Mhm.
then I feel like the Judgment Day would be on top. But yeah, I don't. I think it's over with. So speaking of, Rhea Ripley, I saw a video earlier of her showcasing WWE 2K25. Are you a WWE do you play the games?
I don't.
Okay.
But my fiance really wants me. Like, I'm not a very big like video game person. Like, I want to be, but I'm not.
So,
But like I played, I think the extent of my video games was my fiance got me into League of Legends for a good amount of time.
okay.
But so Dean, that's my fiance, he wants me to play the wrestling video games. He thinks it would be hilarious because obviously I don't know what I'm doing. So I would be like, I wouldn't mind trying. But no, I haven't played them.
I got you. So that's kind of what me and my fiance did. She, like I said, she likes playing video games, but like games like that are like, eh. So what we did is we did a 2-person GM mode, and
Mm,
we didn't play any of the matches. We did a 2-person GM mode. We drafted a roster, and then like the matches we didn't really care about, we simulated
mm,
them, and then the matches that we liked, we watched them.
mm.
So like that could be fun if
Yeah.
that could be a way to get to know. But I'm a WWE game person. I've played a lot of them, and 2K25 comes out next month, which is really really fun, and it's
Mm,
gonna be a good time. So let's talk about some kind of other things about like the modern day of wrestling. First of all, as we know, I think yesterday we found out that Michelle McCool is going into the WWE Hall of Fame.
mm.
Did you watch? Like, have you? I'm assuming you probably know who Michelle McCool is. Like, obviously, she entered the Rumble a couple years ago. Like 2-3 years ago, and obviously she's married to the Undertaker. But like, have you seen any of her matches? Did you ever watch Lay Cool? Like, do you?
I've seen probably like bits and pieces. I feel like we like sometimes we'll even watch like older like shows. I haven't seen a whole lot of her career, but I did watch she had an interview recently with Chris, I think, right?
Chris Van Vliet. I watched that.
Yeah,
It
Chris
was yeah.
yeah. We've been watching his interviews a lot, and we just watched the one with her, and they were talking about like, oh, do
Yeah,
you think you would be in the Hall of Fame? And it's pretty crazy because like literally we were watching that the day
the
before,
day
and
before.
then yesterday they end up announcing it, so that was really cool.
Yeah, that's yeah. He predicted the future. I mean, there's no way he did not predict what was
He had
gonna
to
happen.
know, right?
Yeah,
Like he had to know. I don't know, maybe not, but it was a weird coincidence. Like literally like very close together.
yeah.
So
So we're gonna do a couple fun things. We're gonna do some. I feel like it's kind of your expertise. We're gonna do some rankings. I feel like you're known for the rankings, right? Like you do a lot of them, and I think this is gonna be fun. We don't have like a generator. We don't have like a filter. But I'm gonna ask,
okay.
what is your? This could be all time. It doesn't have to be right now. Obviously, I
Mm,
know like your wrestling knowledge isn't go far back, but I feel like
mm.
it would be a decent you know to answer this question. If you had to pick your top 5 favorite theme songs, it could be it could be between men and women. what
Okay.
top 5 theme songs are you going with? Like like obviously when I mean top 5, like I mean yeah, like when wrestling, oh like that's iconic, but like a theme song that you could play in your house and you could be like
Okay.
turn it up.
Okay. All right, let me see. I like immediately started thinking like where they would all be. And it's funny because I've done a few videos like that recently, and people got opinions on that stuff when you end up putting one like higher, and they're like, how could you put that one
Yeah.
so low or whatever? It is just like it can be pretty like polarizing,
Well, hey,
but
this is a
for
judgment-free zone. No judge here.
okay. So for my top five, I'm trying to I don't want to forget any, but I want to do, let's see, the Judgment Day song. That always has to be on there. Do I need to put them in order
You,
or
no, you could just give me your top 5.
okay, so Judgment Day, then Rhea Ripley song. Like come on, Motionless in
Right.
White, like I have to.
Right.
Um CM Punk, but This Fire, not
Wow.
Cult of Personality.
I I'm gonna be honest. I
Um
didn't think you were gonna pull that out. That's a crazy pull.
well, I'm also a Killswitch Engage fan, so there's a little bit of a bias there,
Okay.
a little bit, but yes, that one. I mean, both songs are great,
They're good. Yeah.
but This Fire, I have to. I can't not. Um, let's see. So I got three so far. Um, do Randy Orton. And I feel like I need to go. Do I need to do something maybe a little bit older? I don't know. Let's go with like Edges or something. And then that's pretty solid, I feel.
Okay. That's a good list. That's a good list. Um, I'm gonna give you mine. I think so.
Okay.
Mine is a little different. So um, I think the in my opinion, like a song that I would just turn up and listen to. Um, I would Cult of Personality by CM Punk. I mean, come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
I get it.
I would Metalingus by Edge. You know the Edge theme song, like his that song just gets my blood pumping every time I hear it.
Mhm.
Um, man, the other three are tough. Oof, because it's man, I don't want to say Kingdom by I love Kingdom by I love Cody Rhodes' theme song. It's just not what I would do. Oh, Batista's theme song.
Mhm. That was one of the ones I was
Yeah,
thinking of too. It was almost there.
AJ Lee's because I mean,
Yeah,
in my
iconic.
opinion,
Come on.
in my opinion, it might be the greatest women's wrestling theme song ever. I know that's a long shot, but like, so
It's up there, honestly, and a lot of people love that
yeah.
one. Like,
So
yeah.
we have CM Punk, Edge, um, AJ Lee, Batista, and then man, I could go back and forth with 5. I could say Rhea Ripley's. I do like um Brutality. I really like that song, but like man, it's tough because maybe Dolph Ziggler's theme song. I really do like Dolph Ziggler's theme song. I'm not like a. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you got to think of like these are the wrestlers. I don't know. I'm not like. Don't get me wrong. Like Stone Cold's theme song is iconic, but it's not like something I'm gonna turn on and listen to. Um,
Yeah.
I would probably go. That's tough. Probably. Mm, I would probably go Dolph Ziggler's theme song. His first one, or no, the second one, not Perfection. I don't know if you've heard his first theme song. It's good, but it's not as good as his second one. That was fun, man. I don't know what people are gonna think. If you say people are gonna have some opinions, man, my comment section's
Yeah.
about to. Eek.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. So, like
Yeah.
I did one recently where it was like ranking like current women's themes, and I kept getting a comment from like multiple people saying that I didn't rank it in how I actually liked the songs. I did it by if I liked the wrestler or not. And I was like, okay,
Yeah, right.
whatever.
Um, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go right now. Like right now on the women's roster, if I had to like do my top 5 women's theme songs right now, this is not of all time. This is right now. I would probably go Rhea's, and this is like based off like just what gets me pumped. So right now, I would go Rhea Ripley. Um, I would go Bianca Belair. I love her theme song. Um,
Me too.
I like Liv's, but it's not. Mm, it's really not. Man, I don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of women on the like. I mean, it's between Rhea and Bianca. I mean, I could probably think of
Mm.
some other women's theme songs, but like right now, those are probably like the two notable ones. I like Liv's, but those two right now are probably the most notable ones. Um, I asked this question in my last 2 interviews, and I want to ask you because I'm curious. And I know you have been around for some wrestlers leaving, and I know you've probably witnessed Vince McMahon, his booking. If you had to
Mm.
choose 2 superstars, does not matter who.
Mm.
I'd say like a female, a male. It doesn't matter. Any 2 superstars you want to come back who have left WWE, either have gone to AEW or just have like left the company in general. If you would
Mm.
want them to come back full time and you think they would like flourish under Triple H right now in the current state of WWE, what superstars are you picking? This could be like past superstars, superstars have left to go to AEW, superstars have just left the company. Like, who are you choosing?
Ooh, that's a good one. Immediately when you like first started talking about it, my mind went to, well, it's John Moxley now, but Dean
Dean
Ambrose.
Ambrose. Okay.
And then which I don't think that would ever happen, but I mean, it would be
Debatable.
pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, debatable.
I'm, I guess it's hard to say that it wouldn't because like a lot of people thought that with CM Punk, right? Like, oh, that's just not gonna happen. Like, he's not gonna come back, and I don't know, but him, and then trying to think who else. I feel like there's been a lot of people that recently, like even just recently went to AEW. Maybe like I can't remember what his name is in AEW, but Daniel Bryan.
Oh, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. I was like, I know it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
flipped, but I couldn't remember.
So those are good options. Look, I love Dean Ambrose. I thought he was great. He was one of my favorite superstars at the time. I thought when I was watching, he was really one of like the pillars of why I continued to watch wrestling at the time that he was in. Um, I think that is a good one. Daniel Bryan's another interesting one because he's injury prone. He's really, really injury prone, and WWE, I think they want to have their wrestlers like safe, and even if they get cleared to compete, they don't want to have to take that responsibility, which I understand. So I think those two are great. If I had to choose between 2 superstars to come back right now and who I think would flourish under Triple H, I think Cesaro would be one of them. Um,
Okay.
I think he really didn't get the push that he deserved when he was in it. He never won a world title, and I thought he was world title ready. And this one's recent, but damn it, Baron Corbin. I don't know why they released him. I love Baron Corbin, especially when he went down
Yeah.
to NXT, but I want him back. I love Baron Corbin so much. I thought he did great when he went down and he tag teamed with Braun Breaker. Like he kind of revitalized his career a little bit.
Mm. Yeah, that honestly, when they let him go, like that was pretty recent, right? Like that was pretty like
Yeah,
I don't know, surprising because he just like moves back up,
for the
and then
main
it's
roster,
like,
yeah.
okay, so then you're just gonna let him go? Like I don't. I mean, even like the recent um what was it like this past week? A lot of people got let go too, and it's just like it just feels so like
It
Like I
was.
want to know what the thought process is,
Yeah, it was.
like leading up to it. Other than I think that they are like potentially bringing in newer talent too, so I guess you just have to make room somewhere, but Baron Corbin would be cool.
Actually, you said they're actually talking about bringing in some former talent. So the superstars who were released was AOP with Paul Eldring,
Mm-hmm.
part of the Final Testament. You had Cedric Alexander, which kind of sucks, but he wasn't doing much anyways. I mean, he was great. I liked Cedric. I thought his matches were good, but he wasn't really doing a whole lot. You had man, I know you had some others in there, but like Sonya Deville was one of them. I don't understand why they got
Yeah.
rid of her. Like they
That
were
one was surprising to me because she was just in the
in the
Rumble,
Rumble.
and they've been like, she has a faction,
Yeah,
like that just felt really weird. And I think I saw somewhere that like ultimately it was like kind of her decision. Like I don't know how true this is, but I heard that it was like her contract was up and she decided not to stay,
maybe
basically,
that
is how it was like explained to me. So I don't know if that's true,
yeah,
but that one did feel a little weird. It just felt really like sudden. It's like,
yeah.
what are they gonna do with like Zoe and Shayna now?
I don't know. They
You
could
know?
be. Look, man, I think Zoe Stark is, in my opinion, kind of being wasted. I like Zoe. I mean, I think with them adding the mid card titles, I think that's really gonna help. Um, especially with people like Chelsea Green and like Micha. First of all, Chelsea Green is amazing, and so is Lyra Valkyria. So like the fact that they right now have mid card titles is very, very nice and deserving. And we were talking about how you said there's new talent coming to WWE. So like that is also true. Like we heard that. So Ricky Starks just came to NXT from AEW. You have Malachi Black, but Aleister Black, who I love Aleister Black so much. I don't think they ever should have released him. But you have Aleister Black and then Miro or Rusev, who's talking about coming back to WWE, which is fun. And I wanted to bring this up earlier when you said like, oh, you're not like a big Logan Paul fan. Do you? How do I put this into words? Would you rather have somebody be like Logan Paul, where they train, because Logan Paul got trained, right? So like he was trained by the Miz. I think he was trained by some like other WWE superstars. Like I guess I would rather have Logan Paul enter a Royal Rumble, and we know him as a WWE superstar, rather than have like ISHO Speed come out and eliminate one person and then get absolutely destroyed by Braun Breaker. So like, how do you feel like that's a difference? Like, would you rather have somebody like Logan Paul train, hold a title, become like a WWE superstar, rather than have like one spot in a Royal Rumble to be like a celebrity?
I don't know. I guess like, well, like with a celebrity, I feel like there's different ways they could do it too. Like, I mean, with like Bad Bunny, like that was cool, but I know.
No, I agree. But I don't know if you had the pleasure of watching Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest at Backlash Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
but let me tell you, that was, stole the show. Like, it was
Yeah.
a great. I love Bad Bunny, and the people who sit there and go, Bad Bunny this, but just stop. Bad Bunny is phenomenal. Okay, he is great. I want to ask. I've asked this question in my last two interviews, and I'm curious because one of them said yes, the other one said no. So Ray, I gotta ask, what side are you going with? Do you think
Okay.
John Cena is the GOAT? Obviously, you
Um,
can have your GOAT female, right? But like, as of
mhm.
a WWE superstar, do you think John Cena is the GOAT?
A good question. I feel I'm gonna go with yes. I do. I like might not have been like one of my personal favorites, but I mean, I do like John Cena. Like, I have nothing against him. He's
Right.
great. Like, but um yeah, I'm gonna say he is, honestly.
Okay.
I am.
Hey, that's respectful. Um, so we've talked about WWE. We've talked about some other things. So I want to ask maybe for people who just know you for wrestling. I always feel like it's kind of important to like get to know a different side of a creator. So are you like other than wrestling? Do you like any other sports? Do you like football? Do you like bat? Like, are you into any other sports?
Yeah, so I'm really into football. You may not like my football team. I don't know if you watch football, but just judging from where you're from, you might not like my football team, but I'm super into football and hockey. I don't watch other sports too often. Like sometimes I'll watch basketball, but I'm not like as invested in it. And we'll watch like UFC sometimes too, but um very big into football.
Can I
Like
guess?
football is
Can I
huge
guess
in my
your?
family.
Can I guess your favorite football team?
Yes.
Because you said where I'm from, I might not like your football team. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take one of three answers here, and I'm gonna get some probably major shit from this, but I'm gonna tell you the three most football teams that I don't like right now. Four. I'm gonna name four
Okay.
football teams, and if I'm not right, then you can tell me after. I'm gonna go the first one, the Kansas City Chiefs. No. Okay.
No.
Dallas Cowboys.
God, no. No, not what, sorry, what?
Dallas Cowboys.
No.
49ers.
No.
And then, well, I was assuming because you're from the Bay Area, so like San Francisco. So, and then the Steelers.
Yeah. That's the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like you were gonna get that, but yeah, it's the Steelers,
So,
which is funny because I'm in the Bay Area, so you would think that it would have been either like the Raiders or
like the
the
49ers. Yeah.
Niners, but
Hey,
no, not a 49er fan. I am by like just a little bit because Dean is into the 49ers, so when
right.
the Steelers are out of the playoffs, I'll root for the Niners or something, but
Okay.
that took a long time for that to happen. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm a Steeler fan.
I want, I want, I want,
So,
I want you to guess my football team. So I'm gonna let you know right now. So like, with me being kind of from Columbus, I'll tell you this. First of all,
okay.
I guarantee you will probably never guess my football team. So all those four teams, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Steelers, and the Chiefs, I'm not fans of. However, I'm also not a Browns or a Bengals fan. I am like,
Okay.
I highly doubt that you will probably guess my favorite team. My favorite team is whack. Right now, they are not good. They're in their rebuilding phase.
Okay.
I will give you.
Well,
I will give you a hint. How about that?
okay.
Seth Rollins.
Okay. Um, the not no, never mind. Bears?
Yes.
Bears. Okay.
I,
Yeah.
I, I'm a Bears fan. It's very
Okay.
tough. It's very tough right now being a Bears
I just
fan.
assumed that was like, I don't know, maybe one of the Ohio teams, but you know, then my second, like before you said Seth Rollins, I was thinking maybe the Ravens,
Mm-mm.
but once you said they're not doing too well, I was like, well, it can't be the Ravens because they did
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah. Um. How do you feel about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl?
I'm happy about it. I mean, obviously not an Eagles fan, but for a
Right.
short time, I was because I'm one of those people. It's just like did not want the Chiefs to win a third Super Bowl in a row. I mean, yes, that's like legendary if it happened, and I wouldn't necessarily be like mad that it happened, but I really wanted the Eagles to win. Um, but that's kind of where it stops. Like, all right, they won. That's it. Now
Right.
back to being a Steeler fan, and maybe we'll do better next year. Maybe we won't. Who knows? I mean, we haven't been. that great. I
I,
mean, we made it to the playoffs, but overall, we look a little rough.
I got
So,
I got a bone to pick with you. I got a bone to
okay.
pick with you. As a Steelers
Uh-oh.
fan, listen, I love Caleb Williams. I do. I think Caleb Williams. I think if we can get a good offensive line, we already have some receivers. If we can build our offensive line, I think we will be. I would probably say a playoff team in the next 2 or 3 years. I really do believe that. However, with me being a Caleb Williams fan, you guys took our quarterback. You guys just ripped our quarterback out from under us. And for that reason, that reason alone, I don't think we can be friends. You took Justin Field from us. I mean, like,
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I was actually excited for Justin Fields too. I was like, okay, cool. And was actually like upset when we decided to start Russell Wilson over him. I'm like, do we got to do that?
hey,
Like,
I don't get. Look, I could care less what people say. I'm a Bears fan, okay, but I am a football fan. I look at the whole league, right? So, first of all, I think Russ for what he did pretty damn good. I think Justin Fields, I think they just need to start him and then but I think Russ did pretty good. Um,
mm,
Ray, we're almost at an hour mark, so
mm,
I'm gonna not necessarily wrap things up, but I do want to ask if people kind of don't know your story or kind of don't know about you. I want to get your opinion. So you are a TikTok creator. You have a pretty decent following. I mean, you have 30,000 followers on TikTok. First of all, do you like? Can you put into words how that is to you? Like you're almost at 50, and then when you hit 50, you're halfway to 100,000. I mean, that's crazy.
yeah, it is crazy. It like honestly, like I'm still fairly new to like content creating in general. Like I started I want to say like shortly after Mania last year, so I'm creeping up to a year.
Wow.
But that's kind of around the time I posted something. I don't remember what the post was exactly. I just know it was around like Mania time and I like I wouldn't say I don't think that post necessarily went viral. I don't remember, but it was kind of one of those moments where I posted and I was like, wait, people care what I have to say?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that, it was like I was not expecting anything from it. And from there, I was already like posting content, but I started to do more wrestling related content from there on out and
Right.
just, was more consistent with what I was doing. We started streaming and everything, and it just like it all felt like it went so fast.
Yeah.
Like it was so unexpected. Like um I just wanted something to do,
Yeah.
Like I was like the last couple of years have been rough and like I needed something to do with my time, really.
Hey.
Like I just
Yeah.
needed, like I needed like an outlet basically and yeah, I don't know. I still can't believe it.
Yeah.
Like
Hey, look,
I don't know how this happened.
whatever
Thank
you're doing a great job, and I think you're doing
you.
fantastic. So I'm gonna give you a little my life story. So I started YouTube about actually this June will be 10 years,
Okay.
and it, it's really hard because I didn't have a massive following, so like I wasn't consistent with YouTube. I would like post video, they would get like. What's funny is if you check out my YouTube channel, my most popular videos are like 1,000, and then like I think my most popular videos at 5,000. Those are in real life wrestling reactions. Like when CM Punk came back at Survivor Series, like those are my popular videos. And I was stuck at, like I said, I'm not that big of a creator. I was stuck at like 180 subscribers on YouTube for so long, and within the past month, I've gotten like plus 50 subscribers. I've gotten hundreds of views, and like it's crazy because even though that I'm not a big creator, I still feel that like I'm like wow. And people started commenting, people started watching. I'm like wow, what you thought of people actually care what I think. That's what I kind of felt when I started getting those views. And Ray, I want you to understand that in the wrestling world, people care, right? It's like as a wrestling fan, but not doing content for so long, you know, everybody probably cares about somebody's opinion. Whether it's always like a needle in a haystack to find somebody that has a different opinion, and I think that's why people are attracted to your channel so much. Is because like how you said you didn't like Liv, or you didn't like Dom, or you don't like Logan Paul. Like, are those opinions? Yes. Do people find those opinions either awful or good? Yeah, but it's a different opinion, and I think
Yeah.
being in the wrestling world and being within that community, I think having a different opinion is what makes everybody who they are. And I think because you have that different opinion, I think people are able to be like, okay, because if I didn't like Dom, I'm neutral about Dom. But if like I didn't like Dom and I'm like, okay, she doesn't like Dom, I'm gonna watch her videos. And I feel like people can relate to that. If they have a different opinion, but everybody else is in the minority, but you have that same opinion, then that person's going to come to you. And I think you're great. I think you're fantastic. I think you need to keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna. I bet you will probably hit 50,000 followers, probably, by the end of the year. Um, I think you're fan. I know that's a big number, but I think you are. I think you're great. So
Thank you.
guys, we are gonna wrap up this recording. Ray, I want to say I appreciate you so much for doing this. Not a uh so I post a lot on my when I say a lot, I post a variety on my YouTube, and the reason why is because I found this. There was a creator. I will never remember what his name is, but there was a creator that I watched a video, and he basically said, if you want to be known for one thing, that's great. If you want to, like,
Mhm.
you're known as wrestling. You probably are okay with that because you're learning more, new things every day. But also, it's a passion of yours, so that's great. But if you want to be known for multiple things, you do it now rather than getting stuck in a loophole. And don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
I like wrestling. Would I like to be known for wrestling? Would I like to talk wrestling? Yeah, of course. But if I
Mhm.
make a YouTube video about wrestling and then I go make a video about football, would it gain interest? Yeah, probably. But it's not going to do well
Mhm.
because that's not what I'm known for. So
Mhm.
I had I one of my 2025 New Year's resolutions I wanted to stop being afraid, and I wanted to reach out to different creators, and I wanted to be like, hey, look, I'm a small creator. I know you're a big creator. You could get eyeballs on me, but we could have an interesting conversation, and we can just have a memorable moment. So, look, I appreciate you doing this. I really do. I would love to do this again sometime. Um, whether it's after Mania or whether it's sometime earlier later this year. Um, so I always strive on good first impressions and good last impressions, because if somebody goes,
Mhm.
"Hey, Tristan interviewed you. How was it?" What the ultimate goal is, what would want you to say is, "Oh, he was great. I would do it again. I would recommend." So
Mhm.
I'm going to start kind of initializing a question, and I didn't do it for my last ones, but you're going to be the first, and I want to end the interview on a positive note because positivity is such a big part of my life. I used to be in that dark space, but things happened. I'm getting married in a couple months, so I've found the light, and I started to be positive, and I take negative things and I turn them to positive. So Ray, I want to ask, can you recall a time in your life where like you were really like, what is your happiest memory? Like, if when you think back of, it doesn't have to be one, it could just be any. Is there a memory you were like, that made me happy?
Does it is it just in general
Yeah.
or like wrestling related or
This is you. It could be
just me?
in general. Yeah.
Um, Trying to think. Let's see. I feel like there's so many different things I could say.
Right.
Like it's really like, but let's see. Um, I think, and this is probably going to be so generic. I'm so sorry, but I am super like my family is very important to me. Like my closest family to me lives about 30 minutes away, which isn't super far, but I make a like, we go see them every weekend. And Honestly, I think that's something that makes me the happiest is going to see like my grandma, my mom, my uncle, everybody, and we do bond over like sports and stuff too. So like I said, football is like very big for us. Like literally every Steeler game, everybody is at my uncle's house. Like it is a big deal. And I think that's something that like always makes me happy is being able to be with like family and friends, but also like bonding over like football or whatever is going on at the time. Because being with them is very important to me and makes me happy.
Look, hey, that I couldn't have asked for a better answer. You know, I think spreading positivity, especially in, it as hard as it is to say, the world's a messed up place right now, right? So I think spreading positivity is the best thing that we can do, and especially to share that with others. And I like I said, we're gonna wrap this up, the recording. Listen, I appreciate you so much, guys. If you want to see more, I'm gonna link everything down in the description below. I'm gonna link her TikTok, her Instagram, her YouTube. Go check her out. She's fantastic. Um, and who knows, we could do something like this again. It would be great. But guys, please don't check her out. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button as hard as you guys possibly can. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.